Message from the Arcturians. 13. Your multidimensional sun. Blessed ones, that you are. We are the Arcturians. It is probably not known to you, or at least only very few know, what these geomagnetic storms in reality are. You have all kinds of explanations for them, and they are mostly correct, from your point of view. But they describe only an aspect of what is happening. There are still a lot of mysteries, which you, and your mainstream scientists, have not yet understood. These magnetic storms are of course triggered by your sun's activities, but there are still major gaps in your knowledge regarding the sun's functions and the reality of its consciousness, which is also the reason that there is so far not a valid name for it available to you. As long as this mystery is not solved, you cannot know what electromagnetic storms really are, not just as described by your physicians, as you imagine them, and the sun, from a dualistic point of view, limited by a 3D level knowledge. The true essence of the sun, and of the solar winds and electromagnetic storms, can only be rightly understood with a multidimensional consciousness, and this is also the reason why you do not know the sun's own inherent name, so that it seems to have, from your point of view, no distinct personality. With a multidimensional consciousness, the nature of personality is understood completely different. We encourage our channel to translate the information, which we are now providing, into your three-dimensional language. The sun is a star, who is operative on many levels, and not only on yours. With levels, we mean dimensions and parallel worlds. In other parallel worlds and dimensions, your sun has satellites too, but they are inherently different planets, who orbit it. And planets, who partially vibrate much higher than the ones in your solar system, and those who vibrate lower. Because of its multidimensional nature, the sun has many names in each of the dimensions in which it functions. But they are always only limited to the specific point of view of each one of these dimensions. If you look at your own multidimensional existence, you will have a better understanding. Also, you are vibrating differently in each dimension, and your relationships differ, and so your names. But what is your own inherent name? As above, so below. Why should your sun function differently than you do? As it is the sun's task, for which it prepared for millions of years, to catapult you and your familiar solar system into a higher dimension, and as its present state, in which it appears to you, is only transitory, it has no permanent name therefore in your limited awareness. This is because you cannot yet understand your sun's true nature. Its face is, so to speak, constantly changing and is taking on the shape, according to who and in which parallel world and dimension somebody is observing it. There are not many stars with this unique quality, but exactly these stars do not have a name in the conventional sense. This is so that your mind is not imploded on itself, and can carry a whole, so that it can go through it beyond the limitation of what is known to it. And only planets like yours who play a special divine role in the universe are being associated with such a star. The unique role of your Earth is to be an experiment for divine evolution. As such, she goes through many phases and experimental challenges. These stars are so-called substations, as required, and they are always used where change is needed. Millions of years are in this context only a moment, while they are for you an unimaginable long period of time. You can only understand this if you allow several dimensions and realms simultaneously to exist, to be melted into a new reality. We ask you to use your intuition, and to distance yourself from your linear mind, and to allow paradoxes. Now we continue with the solar winds, and the geomagnetic disturbances on your Earth. What you consider as disturbance is the inflow of the frequencies of other dimensions and parallel worlds through your sun, which evoke these fluctuations in your geomagnetic field. Because your bodies are calibrated to a specific geomagnetic field, They are not easy to bear. However, the influx of these energies from other realms of the universe have been allowed to break the cocoon of your long-lasting onerous sleep open. As you make assumptions solely based on a reality that appears to you in dual pairs, while you fence off other realities, not considering them in the united field of consciousness as being part of yours, but as alien influences, which is a sign of a missing unity consciousness, it makes it even more difficult for you to tolerate these influences coming from somewhere else. Consider the power of the mind, which creates the worlds. In your case, it is deeply imprinted in your mind, and therefore also in your sensory apparatus, that different and unknown is disturbing and incompatible. With this, you create per se already resistance, and thereby a problem. In addition, there is the inflexibility of your body. The more it has shed limited and on separation-based thought patterns, and has assimilated light, the better it can tolerate different vibrations and states of being. Especially those coming from divine realms, and are not states of consciousness, which have separated themselves from the divine unity consciousness. In this regard, your thinking is usually mostly linear and conventional. But your familiar logic will not help you much to understand this subject. Therefore, we recommend to strengthen your intuition and to utilize the deeper knowledge of your heart. This, of course, requires for many of you a certain practice. With this information, we wish to help you to expand your consciousness regarding the disturbances you are experiencing at present on your earth, and to perceive things in a new and greater coherence. This is also goal and practice when you ascend to higher dimensions, to let go your previous field of imagination, and to step up to a new platform of understanding, on which in the first place, everything is possible. Creation is infinitely variable, and what appears to you as law, including your laws of physics, they appear to you as such, as your mind works accordingly. When you expand your mind, you will discover that your previous laws are not valid anymore, and must be replaced by new ones, those who comply with your changed state of mind. Of course, your confinement over millenniums, accompanied by the manipulation of your DNA, has caused such limitation on your outlook. But as the walls of your prison are falling, also your horizon widens. We have given you this information in this context, so that with your expanded mind you can transcend what you have considered so far to be disturbing, or felt even to be pathogenic for your body. Alone your readiness to open your mind allows the newly incoming frequencies of light, which carry the codes of your DNA awakening, to expand your consciousness substantially, and your capacity to recognize your divine purpose in the universe, and to live it. Your readiness alone allows the new energies to immediately begin with their work. Feel the fresh current of revival and awakening, and allow the process to evolve from now on exponentially. Your ascension in consciousness can thereby be accelerated in breathtaking speed. You can recognize this possibility merely by the fact how much you have changed and evolved already in the last year. We ask you to consider this information in the deep of your heart. We are with you, we love you, and support you, as always. We are the Arcturians.